power, and finally to the steel plow and horsepower were great steps forward. Since the first steel plows were made over 100 years ago, the basic design has changed very little. This plow, made by hand in La Crosse, Wisconsin in 1848, is an example. It consisted of a frog, which acted as a foundation for all the other parts, a mold board, a share, and a beam to haul and guide the plow. 100 years later, this plow bottom, also built at La Crosse, consisted of a frog or foundation, a mold board, a share, and a beam to pull and guide the bottom. So the original steel plows have not changed much in a century. The walking plow that our forefathers used was guided by a combination of the proper vertical and horizontal hitch and a pair of handles. To make the plow run deep or shallow, the hitch point was raised or lowered. To cut narrow or wide, the hitch point was changed on the bridle at the front of the beam. After the walking plow came the sulky, then the tractor with steel wheels and multiple gang plows, and finally the rubber-tired tractors and pull-type plows that were carried on wheels of their own. In 100 years of transition, wheels had replaced the handles, but in all of these changes, the basic bottom remained the same. Then came the pickup or attached plow. It uses the tractor as a carrying medium and also to replace the wheels and handles. Let's examine this tractor and plow combination and see how it works. Here's a new general-purpose 16-inch two-bottom plow. Obviously, it has to be hitched right, both for width of cut and for vertical line of draft. Remember the horse hitch on the walking plow? Here's the modern version of it. A crank and screw raises or lowers the tongue of the plow to the proper position for plowing to the desired depth. To adjust the width of cut is now quite simple. Hitch to the center of the tractor and move the driving wheels to the correct width to run in the center of the furrow without crowding the wall or the turned slice. On this particular tractor, that's easy to do. Merely loosen the locking screws and let the engine move the wheels. This quick, easy change of wheel spacing is of great value for plowing, listing, cultivating on beds, even for mowing or harvesting. Now we can forget about side draft and fit exact row or bed widths without loss of time between jobs. For a two-bottom 16-inch plow, the centers of the tread should be 61 inches apart. For a two-bottom 14-inch plow, 56 inches. No bridle is necessary to offset the hitch. By centering the tongue or drawbar, the plow can be hitched to the exact width of cut and runs without side draft. On the crossbar are two collars that can be moved to allow the tongue or drawbar to be shifted for this exact setting. When 14-inch bottoms are used, the tongue is normally set 3 1/2 inches from the top edge of the left beam. This will be 4 inches when 16-inch bottoms are used. Now we're ready to go to work, so let's hitch up and plow. Notice that it requires no lifting or tugging to attach the plow. The tongue straddles the tractor drawbar. Drop in the drawbar pin and insert the hitch pin. When these hitches are made, the lift arms are ready to attach. No bolts or nuts, just pins to push through. Simple, isn't it? The plow is leveled crossways by a wing crank that changes the length of the right-hand lift link. This makes it possible to plow level no matter how deep the furrow. Remember, this plow has no wheels, and when the plow is carried, its weight is supported by the tractor. Ever since the rubber tire was introduced, it has been customary to add wheel weights to secure extra traction. Well, here is another way. Add the implement's weight to the weight of the tractor, even while it is working in the field. The pickup plow weighs from 500 to 600 pounds and can take the place of many wheel weights for adding traction. When the plow is running down to the desired depth, in other words, when it's hitched right, the land side just touches the bottom of the furrow. It does not dig in nor ride up high behind. Always remember, a good plow will go where you lead it. It will go as deep as it is hitched or beamed to go, and no deeper. These lift arms are operated by a powerful hydraulic pump and rams. The controls are right at the steering wheel. The arms not only lift the plow and carry it in transit, but can also carry it while at work. This adds the weight of the plow plus the earth on the mold board to the tractor's weight to get more traction. To demonstrate the value of the plow's weight in furnishing additional traction, let's plow 8 to 9 inches deep in tough alfalfa sod, clay soil. The plow is properly adjusted to run at this depth. Up at the hand control lever, the hydraulic system is set so it will automatically regulate the tension in the lift links, which transfers weight in proportion to the load. Now let's plow at the same depth without using this weight. The lift links are not carrying any load. See what happens? Too much slippage. Obviously, this is not a profitable way to plow. So let's go back and set the hydraulic control lever to take advantage of the automatic traction booster. This traction gained is a clear bonus. It results in better, faster, and easier work. Once the controls are set, the hydraulic system does the rest. The tougher and heavier the ground, and the greater the weight on the mold board, the more weight is transferred to the drive wheels of the tractor. The tractor's hydraulic system allows this same utilization of weight when you want it with many of the other attached tools, such as the pickup disc plow with its keen cutting disc blades, or the field cultivator with its heavy-duty spring teeth for quackgrass elimination or summer fallow work, with the coil shank cultivator for alfalfa renovation and deeper tillage, or the lister and bedders that prepare the ground for planting on beds or in the furrow, and with the planters that put the seed where you want it, when you want it. The tractor wheels can be fitted almost instantly into these rows or beds. This makes for easy steering, for better planting, and of course for easier cultivation when the crop comes up. Plowing for profit. In many districts, that's the only reason for plowing at all. But every territory has different plowing problems. In the Northwest, the stubble mulch method is accepted as the best practice. The stubble and trash are not completely buried. They're left on edge in the furrow slice. This prevents erosion, makes it easy for water to get down into the soil, and also helps to avert blowing. In the Northeast, the favored method is to ridge up the furrows in narrow lands. This also prevents washing and makes for excellent drainage. Pretty, isn't it? The people of the Great Plains and the Southwest are rapidly learning to use these crop residues instead of burning them. The Corn Belt growers also are aware that covering all of the residues left by a big crop fattens the soil and reduces next year's hatch of borers. The Southeasterners favor the disc plow, which does not cover the trash and green crop, but merely mixes it into the furrow slice. In most of our agricultural territory, however, the big demand is for coverage and complete inverting of the furrow slice so that weeds or plants being plowed under will decay to make humus and build topsoil. Today, more than ever before, we must do better plowing. We must turn back into the soil more vegetative matter to build humus and to provide a better place for precious microorganisms to work. We must plow down more crop residues and more green manure, as well as more of the barnyard variety. When we plow these materials into the top layers of our fields, almost invariably we will harvest better crops and greater cash returns. Then, we're plowing for profit.